Hey gamers, thank you for tuning into Video Games in the World. My name is John, and today is the very first review for Video Games in the World. It's a review of a retro game because today, it's been 30 years since the release of Contra by Konami. Contra is considered to be one of the hardest, yet most remembered games of Konami during the early days of video gaming in the 80s. It is a scrolling shoot-'em-up video game that was developed and released by Konami. The game features two soldiers called Bill and Lance, who drop into South America to neutralize a terrorist organization known as the Red Falcon. The game was first released in 1987 in the arcade before being released on a Nintendo Entertainment System in 1988. It was also released on different systems such as the MSX2, ZX Spectrum, Amstrad CPC, Commodore 64, MS-DOS, PS2, Xbox 360, the DS, the Virtual Console, and the mobile phone. This game will test the skills of every gamer, and diehard fans of the original game will relive their days of glory. To me, movies like Rambo, Predator, and Commando inspired this great game. So, let us begin, ladies and gentlemen, with a review of Contra. Story for this game. The story begins with two characters named Bill and Lance, who are dropped into an island near South America and to neutralize the Red Falcon, a ruthless terrorist organization that is secretly planning to take over the world. However, they will soon discover the true origin of the Red Falcon. Players can play for two as Bill and Lance, and the cool thing about Bill and Lance in the cover of the game is that they're modeled after Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone. The main characters are equipped with rifles with an unlimited amount of ammunition. They can move, jump, and fire at enemies in 8 different directions. Since there are no health bars, players are killed either by being hit by enemy fire or getting hit by enemies running into them, or any other hazard that they fall into and discard their current weapons. There's a variety of 4 weapons that players can obtain from flying capsules or pillbox sensors. These weapons are the machine gun, laser gun, flamethrower, and spread gun. The spread gun is my favorite, the most useful one against enemies and bosses. The good thing about killing many enemies, you get an extra life. Not to forget that a special capsule can release invincibility, which is temporarily. Concept for this game. Players must guide Bill and Lance on 8 different levels and defeat the bosses to save the world from the invasion of the Red Falcon organization. Design and graphics. The graphics, of course, are 8-bit, and the designs are very well made. I just love the detailed looks of the stages, such as the waterfall, the snowfield, the jungle. Even the base, I really like its 3D style type of looks. I must give Konami credit, and in that time, they really did know how to make great games and design the various stages very well before their little stupidity in 2015 caused them to downfall with all the pachinkos and the cancellation of Silent Hills, if you know what I'm saying. My personal favorite stages are the snowfield, the energy zone, and the factory. The base stages designed in 3D were exceptional. Great job, Konami, for that time, of course. I played this game back in 1994 when I was 8 years old, and those days were amazing, and I really enjoyed playing with my cousin and also my siblings as well. And also, but my oldest brother and sister played this way before I did. And even after so many years, my oldest brother and my second older sister, they still know the Contra trick. Up, up, down, down, left, right, BA, start. Oh, memories. Yeah, those were in days when you had cheat codes, where you had infinite lives and all that stuff, but you got, with that cheat code of Konami, you got like 30 lives. But don't think that just because you activated the cheat code with 30 lives, that this game is a pushover, because this game, most of the time, will test your patience, if you're not careful, of course. Rantings for this game. Now, what I do not like about this game is that whenever you got hit, you died. That is what bothered me the most when I was a kid. What I also hated about the snowy fields, don't get me wrong, I like the design of the snow fields, but those mortar bombs being thrown from behind the trees, oh my god, those were, I used to hate those. When I was a kid and things like that happened, I either throw up my controller and go all Bruce Lee on the wall. Another stage that I hated was the energy zone because those flames were spewed out of the pipes, in which I will make a loud rant. Now, the ending was something that I did not like that much in a certain way. But it's an old game, so don't expect like all those big ass endings, you know. Okay, for the good aspect, what I like about this game is the challenging gameplay that this game has. Although, what I like about this game is battling bosses with a spread gun because it made things a lot easier, but still the game was tough to beat. Contra is a cult classic for gamers of the old generation, and even some new-gen gamers have told me that they love the game. So, it's up to you to beat this game with a cheat or the hard way at your own risk, ladies and gentlemen. Contra has left a great legacy of many successful sequels and games for future consoles like the Super NES, the PlayStation, and so on. Super Contra was released for the NES in 1990, and a remake was made for the Super NES. Contra 3 and Contra Force were released in 1992, except that Contra 3 was on the Super NES and Force in the NES. Contra Hardcore was released in the Sega Genesis in 1994. Then in the late 90s, Legacy of War was released for the PlayStation and Sega Saturn in 1996. The Contra Adventure was released in 1998. In the early 2000s, Konami Computer Entertainment Tokyo developed 2 Contra games for the PlayStation 2, Shattered Soldier and Neo Contra. In 2007, Contra 4 was released for the Nintendo DS, a co-production between Konami of America and Way Forward Technologies. Contra Rebirth developed by M2 was released on the Wii and WiiWare title of 2009. So finally, in conclusion, Contra is a great game and left behind a great legacy over the glorious years in video gaming history. It has high replay value and is very enjoyable, although it's difficult, but still, you gotta love it. So my final score for Contra is an 8 out of 10. That is all for today. Play hard, gamers, and have a good one. Bye-bye.